Hey there everyone, welcome back to another Game Vault video. As always, I'm Cat the Beefy with the Game Vault, and we are going to talk about capes one more time. We'll probably talk about it again in a month or two or something like that, but for now, we're going to talk about capes. So let's cue to music and we'll get right to it. So, Daedalic Entertainment community strategist says company will not work with Sweet Baby Inc. moving forward, then accuses gamers of trying to harm an indie developer. So, this is kind of a win, not with a capital W, but with a lowercase w for sure. If this is true, and they're not just saying that to try to mitigate damage that their brand is seeing right now upon its release. But let's talk about this a little bit here. So it was brought to the public attention that Spitfire Interactive and Daedalic Entertainment worked with Sweet Baby Inc. for capes in the game's end credits. The credits were showcased in a gameplay walkthrough video on Christopher Odd's channel. It revealed that Sweet Baby Inc. co-founded David Bedard and Chris Kindred, along with 10 others from Sweet Baby Inc., worked on the game. Now, if you're not familiar with who Sweet Baby Inc. is, look them up, man. They are absolute garbage bottom feeders in this industry. They run a consultancy firm that pushes DEI in games. That's diversity, equity, and inclusion, or as I like to call it, didn't earn it. They'll make a character black just to make him black. They'll make it gay just to be gay, trans, whatever. They make the girls uglier, the gameplay worse, and the dialogue insufferable. They're garbage human beings in a garbage company, and they're destroying gaming. They're a big part of what makes gaming suck right now. And I'm happy to see this company say they won't work with them in the future. And I'm hoping to see more companies do that. We need to see this from larger companies, not just these small indie companies. Let's continue. So, given Sweet Baby Inc. was listed in the game's credits, Sweet Baby Inc. detected Steam Curator list founder Cabrutus Rambo added the game to the Steam Curator list as well as his DEI detected website. He wrote on X, "Sup guys, I bring a new Sweet Baby Inc. game for y'all." Capes. Penta, the community strategist for Daedalic Entertainment, initially reacted to the game being added to the curator lists, writing on the game's Steam forums, "We already had 3 months of 14 pages of constructive discussion about DEI in the forum and delivered a gameplay update focused on exactly what the player base wanted, leading to roughly an 80% positive recent reviews." He continued, "You don't have to take my word for it. You can actually read up on it yourselves. But we were already able to explain that SBI only worked briefly, mainly to bring the 4 to 5 people strong indie dev team in contact with fitting voice actors, together with the devs 2 years ago, and many first skeptical players who were able to find out there is no hidden agenda or something else we forced down your throats or other concerns they had, because a well-rounded diverse cast, obviously." Penta then concluded, "So why don't we just focus on the most important question that the OP was mentioning already? Is capes fun? And this is exactly why I brought up the positive reactions towards our most recent update. We think you would enjoy it if you give it a chance." I'm sorry to say this, Penta, but there's a large group of people out there who won't give you a chance if you work with companies like Sweet Baby Inc., whether it's them, Black Girl Gamers, Hit Detection, whatever. Those names pop up in your credits, you're done. People, a certain sect of people aren't going to buy that game. Myself included in there. Had I known about this stuff a year ago, 2 years ago, there's games that I own and love that I wouldn't have right now. And it would suck because I would have never had the experience of playing them, looking at you, God of War Ragnarok. But, I just feel like I cannot give my money to a company that's going to work with a diversity, equity, inclusion company like that, full of people that hate me. You look at these people on Twitter and the things they say, their hatred towards the cis white male. I'm a 54-year-old white straight male. I am the antithesis of what Sweet Baby Inc. wants. They want to not only not cater to me, they want to offend me, they want to make me upset, and they want me to not buy the game so that later on they can point a finger at me and call me racist, phobic, whatever garbage, word they want to use that day. And let me tell you, those words don't mean anything anymore. There's a point in time when people are like, oh no, I'm not a racist. Oh no, not at all. I'm sorry. I love this and that and blah, blah, blah. Now people are like, everything's racist, so call me what you want, you cocksucker. Oh, did I say that? Anyway, this explanation did not seem to hold water, as a number of recent reviews and the most recommended ones were negative and nowhere near 80% positive. In fact, only 56% of the 32 reviews posted in the last 30 days are positive. The voice acting was also heavily criticized. And we talked about that in the last video I did on this, that the voice acting apparently was abysmal. The voice actors were varied. There was definitely diversity there, but it felt weird, the guys were saying, and that's what happens if things are too diverse. One thing I want to talk about, this is a different game. It's a game franchise that I really, really loved the first game of. The second game was okay, but then it kind of went off the rails, especially with the expansion that came with it. But that's the Horizon series, right? Horizon Zero Dawn was so much fun. It was a wild concept, 1,000 years into the future. You got this, this young woman fighting these machines that look like old dinosaurs for the most part, and this mystery of what happened to the world and what's going on, and people are reduced to living like tribes, living off the land, and what they can salvage from the old world. It's a really, really cool concept and really, really neat. And, you could see even back then the diversity people were at play in this game, because the cast was hugely diverse, right? It was set in the United States, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. We have a very diverse population in the U.S. But after 1,000 years, so let's say there's a catastrophic event that wipes out, I forget the percentage of humanity, but it was a high percentage, 80%, 90%, whatever. Boom, gone, right? And 1,000 years pass, and humanity rebuilds itself. What do you think humanity will look like? What do you think a small village of 400 people will look like 1,000 years from now, after everyone is destroyed for the most part, right? It's going to be pretty homogenized. They're going to look like a tribe, right? They're not going to look white. And it really is going to depend on where in the United States it takes place too, right? Let's say it was, the story took place near Atlanta, Georgia, where there's a very large black population. The tribe would be darker, right? If it was Montana, the tribe would be lighter. If it was over in San Francisco, maybe there'd be some Asian features mixed in there, a little more prevalent. Texas would be very Hispanic, very Mexican looking, indigenous Indians, and so forth and so on. So you would have these tribes in different areas to have this look, and an accent that they've developed over 1,000 years, a dialect or whatever. Instead, what we got was this weird, diverse group of characters where white guy, black guy, Hispanic person, Asian person, distinctly that race. So that means for 1,000 years, those bloodlines stayed pure. Those Asian people only had babies with other Asian people. I mean? The chances of that are 0%. Okay, I'm sorry, 0%. So that always took me out of the game there. And I get it. They want to do the diversity thing and all that, but why not go for the realistic thing? You could have all these different characters played by whatever actors you want. But that it really looked silly, and it really, the more I thought about that, the more it kind of just grated on me as far as from a storytelling standpoint and a world creation standpoint. I'm like, it's not like that. And then you got weird accents, right? Like, some southern accents, some northern accents, some, different regional accents from the U.S. and all that. It just didn't sound right. You figure you'd get a voice coach in there for the voice actors and say, you guys are from here. If you're from Colorado, you're going to have this kind of vernacular, and you're going to have developed this sort of pattern to your voice, and you're going to pronounce things this way and that way. If you're from California, you're going to have these little differences here. They're subtle, but they're there. So people are going to be able to understand that. It won't just be how you dress or what color paint you put on your face. It's going to be more than that. You're going to have developed an actual personality as a people. And they didn't do that. But that's way off course, and that's a discussion for another day. Anyway, to get back to this. So this, coming back to present day and capes, Now, in a post titled Conclusive Statement about SBI, Penta explained why there are 12 Sweet Baby Inc. employees listed in the credits if all Sweet Baby Inc. did was act as an intermediary to find voice talent. He said, "It is an industry norm that if you contract a company, you credit the whole company, or at least that they tell you who they want listed in your credits. If we really would have wanted to hide something, we wouldn't have put SBI into the credits at all, nor would we have been already talking in the Steam forums about it during the last 3 months after release." He then indicated that Daedalic will no longer work with Sweet Baby Inc. moving forward. The devs collaborated with SBI in early 2022. We are aware that statements being done by individuals connected to SBI in the years to come, but in 2022 there was no sign of that. It is likely that the decision would have been a different one in 2024. Congratulations. This is a step in the right direction. You guys are trailblazers, and that's awesome if you're telling the truth. I don't trust you, but I don't trust anybody. That's my cross to bear. I absolutely don't trust anybody, especially any business, government, religion, corporation, whatever. I don't trust anything that involves humans in it because humans can't be trusted. But if this is the truth, this is a good step forward now. It's a little indie company. That's great and all that. I hope they survive this release and that it doesn't put them under. Very likely it will. And that's the sad part. Very likely they're going to end up either downsizing or closing the doors. If they downsize, hopefully they'll get rid of the people that pushed for Sweet Baby Inc. to be there or encouraged that sort of intervention in their game, because all it did was poison the well, so to speak. Like I said earlier, there's a certain group of people who will not buy a game because of this. I will not go to certain movies because of the studios and how they handle things, It's my money. I work hard for it. I will spend it how I will spend it, on with things I love and want. I will not spend it on people that hate me. Okay? I will not spend it on people that hate me. If I went into a restaurant and the owner of the restaurant or the people that work there looked up and says, here's that freaking jerk off. I can't stand this guy. What are you doing in here? Get out of here. This restaurant isn't for you. I would turn around and leave. We don't serve white, straight men here. Like, fine. I'll see you later, man. Good. I'm done. I'll go somewhere else and eat. Yeah. You got to talk with your wallet, man. And if you don't believe in this kind of stuff, if this kind of stuff bothers you, then you got to stand by it, and it's hard sometimes. It really is hard because you're going to see things you love that you really want and you want to experience, and you're going to have to say no. I'll tell you one right now, Deadpool and Wolverine. I hear the movie's fantastic. I hear it lampoons all the woke nonsense in Hollywood and all that and yada, yada, yada. To me, this is Disney trying to say, look, we make fun of both sides of the field or whatever. No, you don't. This movie it's a gimmick, okay? And it doesn't make up for the abomination, the complete and total abomination that was Phase 4, where you took a beloved franchise, you took this beloved Marvel Universe, and you shat on it and destroyed it. This doesn't make up for it, and I won't spend my money on Marvel for as long as Disney owns it. Same thing with Lucasfilms. I won't spend a single dollar on anything Star Wars as long as Disney owns it. I'm done with those things. It's over. I can't do it anymore. So anyway, finally he admitted that regardless of Sweet Baby Inc.'s involvement, the company is committed to inclusivity and equality. Of course they are. He wrote, as a company bringing games to an international audience, we take the term inclusivity and equality literal. We don't condone hate towards any type of group. This includes among POC, LGBT, and others, white male gamers as well. Well, that's novel. Most people hate white male gamers, so once again, well done. Nice to hear that then. I can support you on that one then, right? I don't want to see hate towards any group of people, but the hate that you see is there because it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, These groups push so hard for things, and they play victims so much, and they raise these false flags all the time, and then people really get tired of it, and people start to, get a bad taste in their mouth, for want of a better term, and they're like, no, I don't want that, I don't want to see it, I don't want to hear it, I don't want nothing to do with it. And if they keep pushing it then and they start to call you names because of it, Well, you downright go from disliking it to hating and say, you know what? No, I don't want any of it. I don't care. I don't care about your representation. I don't care about your happiness. I don't care what it does to your mental health. Fuck off. That's the way it goes. So it is sad that we actually have to word it out, that it should be given we are all gamers no matter who we are. If a diverse cast of heroes makes you not want to play capes, that's your decision, but we are surely not the enemy. At least we don't see you as one for making this decision, but at the moment some, not all, of you are actively trying to harm a small indie dev studio to teach them a lesson that they never really needed to learn, he concluded. All right, we went into victim mode at the end there, oh, you're going to feel guilty for us because we did this and all that. It's not our fault, No, and I get it. Okay, let's back it up. A couple years ago, you went with Sweet Baby Inc. And back then, nobody knew what the hell Sweet Baby Inc. was. Nobody knew what they were. Maybe it was something that was going on in the gaming industry and everybody was talking to these people. I know they were using some bullying tactics and all that to get gigs with different indie developers and regular developers and stuff like that. I get it. You were probably coerced. You were probably bullied. You were probably lied to. And I'm sorry that happened to you. But it doesn't change the fact that, I'm not going to pay the money. Now, what it does change for me, though, is if you survive this and you put out another game, I would definitely give you a fair shake based off of the things you're saying here, because it sounds like you guys learned. But not this one. Not this one. I'm not going to give any credit to Sweet Baby Inc. I don't know if they get, a nickel for every game sold or whatever, but I do not want a single penny going to that company from my hard-earned money. They can go pound sand and disappear from the face of the earth as a company. That's what I want. I am not supporting them in any way, shape, or form, and if I feel like my money may go to them, I'm not spending it. Sorry. That's just me. But while it's good that Daedalic and seemingly Spitfire Interactive will no longer work with Sweet Baby Inc. moving forward, it is clear that both companies need to learn a lesson that promoting disordered lifestyles is indeed condoning hate. So, it's, it's bad. And it's sad. It's sad. If this company goes down, it's going to be a hard lesson. But life is full of hard lessons, right? We all make choices in life. We all do things and choose our paths in different ways. And sometimes we succeed. Sometimes we fail. Sometimes we get hurt. Sometimes we hurt people. That's life. And, all you can do is learn that lesson and hopefully not repeat it. Hopefully that's what goes on with these guys if they survive. As far as gamers harming Spitfire Interactive by opposing wokeness in the form of the gay agenda and capes, it's ridiculous. Steam user Hellsmoke77 said, "Nobody is actively trying to harm anyone. We are voicing our opinions as potential customers. We're the ones they're trying to sell a product to, and we have to watch one product after another being ruined for the sake of diversity and inclusion." Exactly. We have to listen to people like SBI and all types of game journalists insult us and gaslight us, telling us we're racist for rejecting their political slop, and they openly brag about it being just that. I'm not going to link to Larry Fink or Kim Belair saying it outright. We've all seen it. And there we go. And that's my thoughts. He did put it well there, and that's the things I'm saying. I don't want to hear it anymore. Yeah, it ruins everything. Game after game after game has fallen. Look at the Joker in Suicide Squad, and look at the Joker back in the Arkham games. What? Look at Mrs. Freeze, the weird lesbian in that game. Look at Forspoken and how silly and trite that one was, and all these different games that are just out there. One failure after another. Concord with its terrible character design and its pronouns for robots, and even Destiny with its gay robot stuff. Come on, man. Absolutely ridiculous. It's borderline parody at this point that they've pushed things so hard and so far. And it's no wonder they're getting a pushback. And every day I see it more and more. We've seen things like, I think it was, Tractor Supply getting rid of their DEI department completely. We saw Microsoft shutting down one of their teams. Now that, again, I take that one with a grain of salt. They're probably just feeling the, testing the room right there and saying, you know what, maybe we'll just sacrifice this one little team and it'll get people off our backs for a little bit. So you'll see things like this, but hopefully this is a shift in culture that continues, and we end up, pushing this stuff to the back burner where it belongs, to the fringes of gaming, And I got nothing against anyone personally, right? I know people in that community. I know people in the LGBT community. I work with black people. I work with all kinds of people from all over the world, I don't care. And none of them care. That's the funny part. No, we're all like, yeah, whatever. But it's these terminally online creeps, like these games journalists and these developers and all that they live this weird life that reality doesn't touch them. Most of them are up in the big cities and all that. And they surround themselves with like-minded individuals, so they exist within an echo chamber where everything they say is congratulated and pumped up. Yeah, you're so right. You go, queen. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah, whatever, dude. Just shut up. Anyway, he continued, we're past the point of feigning ignorance. It's clearly malice now. You don't get to insult your customer base time and time again and expect them to continue buying and playing your products. And it's not this small team of developers that are at fault. We know this. It's the higher-ups that are making the decisions who are to blame, and they do indeed need to be taught a lesson, and that lesson is that the customer is king. Bingo. There is no modern audience looking for the well-rounded, diverse cast that you see in every movie, every show, and increasingly in every game these days, he added. It's boring, it's played out, it's not natural, and we all know it's political. The time has come for the industry to decide whether it wants to make good games or push their politics. They're free to do either, of course, but if they want to earn money, politics is clearly not the way to go. That's not what people are here for, at least not the vast majority. I'm sorry these devs have to suffer in order for us to get this message across, but it is what it is. That said, none of what I said should come as a surprise. We've been shouting it from the rooftops for years now, and instead of reading the room, we get mocked and alienated by this tiny group of loudmouth activists that don't buy your games in the end anyways. This is your modern audience in a nutshell. Good luck to whatever you do in the future. I'm done in this forum. If anything, I hope this was at least a learning experience for all parties involved, he concluded. Well, I couldn't have worded that better myself. I mean, what do you guys think of that? And he's saying out loud what a lot of us are thinking, and he put it in ways much better, much more eloquently than I have, I think. But, it's the same things I've been saying all along. We're tired of it. We're not spending our money on people that don't like us and don't want to make us happy. I'm not going to purposely buy something that is garbage, that is designed to offend me, designed to upset me. We've watched them destroy movie franchises and characters. We've watched them revamp television shows and bring them back and just destroy them and make them garbage. We're watching it with games. We're watching it with existing IPs. And I'll go back to what I said before, where if you want to create your own IPs and you want to make them super woke and super diverse and all that, that's fine. So in that regard, Capes is cool. It didn't take like a bunch of Marvel superheroes or DC superheroes and make them silly and gay or whatever and ultra diverse. It created its own thing. So fine, bully for you for that. That's great. But I'm still not buying it because I'm not interested in this, okay? And so this is like the perfect example to talk about here, because this is a game that is designed for that modern audience. There's another one coming out called Dustborn. I think that comes out in a week or two. And I can't wait to see that one come out. It looks like it is perhaps the most cringe thing I've ever seen a trailer for. It is awful. It is beyond awful. I mean, it's laughable. When it comes out, we're going to talk about that one. But with all my respect, it's original. It's an original IP. It's designed for an audience. More power to you. You're going to sell it to that audience. But what you're going to learn is that audience is about 300 people in gaming. Okay? Maybe 1,000 tops. This is what you're going to learn with things. You don't get that lesson when you wokeify an existing product, right? When you take something like Assassin's Creed that's been out there for God, how long has Assassin's Creed been out there? How many iterations of the game have been out there? They pump out an Assassin's Creed game every few years, and it's a well-known IP. People love Assassin's Creed. They've been playing it for years. I've enjoyed the hell out of Assassin's Creed. And then all of a sudden, you wokeify it, like they're doing with, they did it in Valhalla. You know, although it was a lot more subtle in Valhalla than it is in Shadows, the upcoming Shadows game, but still, it was there. And yeah, but it's an existing IP, so that is never going to be as bad in sales as something like Capes is, because you have a built-in audience already. You've got normies who play it, who don't really care one way or the other about these things, who don't even know about the culture war. They're just ignorant and going through life blissfully ignorant, and God bless them. They're a lot happier than the rest of us are. And then you've got your diehard Assassin's Creed fans who would buy anything Assassin's Creed. It could be, you know, an Assassin's Creed game, and all of a sudden it's an 8-bit survival game like Minecraft, and it's still buying Assassin's Creed Minecraft. Oh yeah, I'm buying that. You know, I love Assassin's Creed. You know, so you've got those kind of people that will spend that money. But then you've got your, you know, the people that are in the know are going to see it and be like, ugh, I don't know if I'm going to bet. If I knew how bad parts of Valhalla were going to be, I wouldn't have bought it. As much as I love that game, and I'm telling you, I enjoyed that game. But there were parts that really just stuck out with the LGBT agenda that was so annoying and so frustrating. It's like, why do I have to even deal with this right now? You know, Baldur's Gate was a fantastic game, gameplay-wise, combat and all that, but absolute garbage in the DEI department is despicable. You know, and I know it's a well-renowned game. I know they gave it tons of awards and all that, and I'm not denying that. You know, I wanted to love this game and play this game. I played the original Baldur's Gate, you know, back in the day. I played Icewind Dale. And I wanted this game to be great. And while it had some great stuff to it, almost immediately you're introduced to this flamboyantly gay vampire that is so annoying that he's insufferable. I didn't even want him in my party. I'd leave him at the camp. And then he wants to come and talk to you while you're at the camp and try to be gay with you. And it's like, dude, just fuck off. You know, that's pushing it on you, right? That's pushing it on you. It's one thing if you go out there and seek it out. But no, this guy just comes up to you and he's like, hey, you know, you want to bump uglies? Dude, should have put a stake in his heart right then and there. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Let me know what you think down below about Capes. And, you know, do you think they should learn a lesson? I mean, personally, I think they need to learn a lesson. Whether or not it destroys that company, it would be sad if it does, especially for the good developers that are there. My heart goes out to you. But it's like our friend said there, it's the higher-ups that need to know. These guys need to know. They're not going to make any money pushing this garbage. In fact, they're going to lose money. They're going to have to fire people, and eventually they're going to be held accountable themselves and lose their jobs. And maybe we'll get some competent people in charge, people who just want to make some great games. I'm Cat the Beef with the Game Vault. If you haven't done so, please leave a like on the video down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to ring that bell for notifications. I'll see you next time. Until then, peace. That guy looks like it looks like Wolverine over there on the right, doesn't he? Like wish list Wolverine. Anyway, peace.